Hey guys, here we are in lesson 5. This is our first video of lesson 5. And you know what we've been working on in this module so far is explaining that properties belonging to a category of two-dimensional figures also belong to all subcategories. So if it's underneath it in the hierarchy, then it counts for it as well, right? So we've been talking a lot about properties of two-dimensional figures and hierarchies. And we're going to add two shapes to that hierarchy today. And one is kites, see the picture, and the other is squares. So get ready for kites and squares. So you see in the picture, there's some kids and they are flying a kite. And not all kites look like the ones we fly, right? There's also a type of bird called a kite, and it's a subcategory of raptors. And there's some red kites, and there's black kites, and there's different kinds of kites. In fact, the kite that you fly was named after this group of birds because it hovers up in the sky, kind of like a kite does when it's on a rope. So that's kind of interesting. We're going to learn more about the shape of kites today. So you might notice that the kite in the picture is a quadrilateral. Quadrilateral meaning it has four sides and it has four angles. And that kite is also made up of four triangles. So in math, there's a quadrilateral that's called a kite. And if it's a quadrilateral, then what do we know is true of that kite shape? It has four sides, very good. And also its interior angles, inside angles, add up to 360, because that's true of all quadrilaterals, right? Properties of all quadrilaterals are true of any quadrilateral. So today we're going to learn the properties of a kite and compare its properties to the properties of other quadrilaterals. Okay, so I have this kite worksheet for you to help you cut out a kite. Sorry, you might not be able to see it so well, but go and get the kite worksheet. It's in the places where we keep our mastery checks. And we are going to make a kite. And you're going to use this worksheet. And you're just going to make sure you have it. If you don't have it, go get it, okay? Because I'm going to give you some directions. You're going to use a straight edge to connect points I to points K and to point T. So you're going to connect I at the top down to point T and down to point K. So let me just show you what that looks like. You're going to use a straight edge and it's going to make a tall triangle, right? And then, this is where you get to be original, you're going to make a point E, and it has to be on the dotted line, okay? So far you have connected point point I to point K and point I to point T. And now you're going to put a point E somewhere on the dotted line. And then you're going to connect point K to point E and point T to part E. See, it spells kite. So you see my point E here? It has to be on the dotted line. And as you can see, it makes a kite shape. All right? So you go ahead and make that too. If you need any help, be sure to ask for help. And let's talk a little bit about a kite. Its angles are going to add to 360. We know that because it's a quadrilateral, right? Also, we know that two sides are going to be the same length and two other sides are going to be the same length, okay? So line IT and line IK are the same length, okay? And then line ET and EK are also the same length. And you notice that those two lines are next to each other, right? So we have, sorry, I'm doing this backwards. Those are two next to each other. and these two are next to each other. So the long ones are next to each other and the short ones are next to each other. And when you have lines that are next to each other, that's a new vocabulary word, which is adjacent. And I will add that to our vocabulary list, adjacent, and that means next door. Okay, so we have two that are next door to each other, and we have two that are next door to each other, and those two are the same length. And a kite has a line of symmetry through its diagonal. Each kite has at least one line of symmetry. Okay, so see if you can find the line of symmetry that will cut it into two exact equal parts. Okay, and I think I have one of those. Cool. I do have one, but I think I'm going to put it in the next video so that I can have it up and ready for you. All right. Oh, I have an interesting video about how to design your own signature. So let's watch a little bit of that, and then we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for paying close attention.
Before we design your autograph, let's think, what is an autograph? It can be a signature, but you don't really want it to be your signature. Your signature is the thing that you sign official documents with, and an autograph is like a mark for your fans to say they have met you. Now, are you famous? I don't know. Maybe you want to be famous one day, and that's why you're practicing your autograph. And so when fans come up with an autograph book and say, "Will you please sign my book?" you don't give them the signature that you put on your checks and your contracts and things like that so that people can forge it. You give them a different signature, which is usually well designed. Now, you'll probably want to go and see my other video here, which is how to design your own amazing signature, because it's a similar kind of thing. So let's choose a name like Rajesh. And if I was just writing Rajesh, then I'd do something like that, because I'm a bit dyslexic. And that's how it comes out. But let me think about this a bit more. That R is not very good. So let's think of something a bit more stylish. Rajesh. So that would be okay as an autograph. That would be absolutely fine. You might want to sort of put lines in, something like that. We could try all sorts of other things. Let's make it a bit rounder, like Rajesh, like that. We can maybe try and kind of loop that together somehow.
Ooh, interesting ways to write your name. Okay, I'll see you in the next video. I wanted to add one thing, and I'll put it in the notes too, but make sure that you have your kite to show me at the mastery check. All right? Thanks a lot. Aloha.